Yeah, well, I think this is something, that when the announcement happened, when I got the phone call, I mean, this is definitely something that's intriguing to me. It's again, having been in Louisiana, I understand where Tech is and where it can go and where it's going. And for me, it was a great opportunity. And again, I wasn't looking to leave McNeese. This was the first opportunity I've had. This is the first opportunity I've pursued. I've had opportunities presented to me, but this is the first opportunity I've pursued because it meets the values of who I am. And Ruston is a great community. It matches with what my family and I represent. And so we're looking forward to being embedded into this process here and being members of the community and being Tech Bulldogs all the way. I think any time that you devote the amount of time that you devote in these types of jobs, it's hard. You're not just cutting an umbilical cord. You're rooting up all these things that you've done. It's how can you talk with passion and how can you talk about advancing the student athletes and not be personal, because you're putting your heart and soul into it. It's not something you do from a distance. You roll your sleeves up and get in there. And when you separate from that, there's a part of you that's a little sad, but at the same time I recognize there's great people here that I'm going to get to know, that I'm going to get to be a part of, and look forward to those relationships. But there are great people there, and that's the hard part of the job. But when you hire great people and you work for great people, that's what's hard to leave, but it's also what makes it easier to leave, because you know that they're in a good position because there's great staff in place there.
And talk about your experiences at Northwestern. You got 2 degrees from Northwestern. Was it a GA there? You spent some time in North Louisiana. Just talk about those experiences.
Yeah, North Louisiana is a great place, and I have 2 of my sisters live in the Bossier-Shreveport area, so I'll get to be closer to them. And so my wife is from East Texas, and it's just the culture, the values are very much lined up with our family, and we're looking forward to being back in North Louisiana and being fully immersed in its culture and what it has to offer.
Whenever you looked at last year's success for Louisiana Tech, you mentioned the top 25 rankings of both. What would you like to do to build upon that, other than continue the success in both of those schools?
Well, I think it's just like anything. You can't come in and change things that are working. So you have to. That's a part of the evaluation process. It's what are the things that are working, what are the things that need to be adjusted, and that's a process that takes some level of time to go through. I mean, you can't just come in day one. So this is what works, this is what doesn't. Well, we have to evaluate that, and we know that funding always has to be increased. I mean, the next guy that gets hired at McNeese, they're going to say we need to raise more money. I mean, that's going to happen all across the country when a new position like this is open is funding. So we were going to be focused on that. But in terms of administration of decisions, those things have to be done very calculated and with knowledge and insight, and you can't do that in a vacuum. You have to come here and get immersed into it.
How excited were you when you saw that Louisiana Tech had an AD opening? I mean, you said this is where you wanted to be. This is outside of being from McNeese because you were there for so long. But when you saw that opening, I mean, what was the first thing that hit your mind when you knew that they were looking for an athletic director?
I wanted the job. I mean, it's when you, again, I talked about that to the search committee. It's not so much that I wanted the next job. It's I wanted the Louisiana Tech job. This is a job that, when it was presented to me, offered me a personal and a professional opportunity that I couldn't pass. And we talk about being prepared for the next job, but not just being prepared to get the next job, but being prepared to get the next job to take it to the next level. It's not just about getting it, it's just about taking it and moving it to the next level. And so that's what we're going to be focused on. But yeah, I am honored to be here today and to be in this position. It's truly a great day for me.
You talk about the fit with the university, with Ruston for your family and you. Is this a long-term thing for you? Would you like to set some roots in Ruston and Louisiana Tech?
No, there's no question. I mean, you can't, with athletic administration, with coaches, sometimes you can come in and hit it hot and do some things. I mean, administration is a very calculated thing. You have to build upon it. You can't manufacture success overnight in administration. It's something that it builds upon, and so that takes time. And the things that I have in mind and the places that we want to go, it's going to take time. So this is a long-term commitment. Again, I'm from Louisiana. I have half of my family lives now an hour away from me. This is where I want to be and develop. I want to make Louisiana Tech the big thing. I mean, we want to take it and make it the big thing. Why would I do something here and go to the big thing? We want to focus on Louisiana Tech and making it big here.
Well, when you look at Tech being the next big thing, immediately you think about conference. Of course, they're going into a new conference. You don't want to talk about going to another one, but should it happen again, would you of course want to have Tech in a place where they are able to move on to bigger and better things?
Yeah, well, it's a changing landscape, and so you're in a situation where you can't rest on anything anymore, and so you have to be prepared. And a part of that is building your profile, building your national brand, building your competitiveness, but just positioning yourself in a situation where if things do start to shift and move again, you're in position to do that. And I think that not only with what we can do with Tech and the support, but also with the connections nationally that we have and that I have, those are things that are going to put us in position. But we are focused at this point in time on making ourselves the best it can be in Conference USA.